So you have 1,400 people in Indianapolis, 700 in Huntington, who are wondering, what just happened here?
Is to move production from our facility in Indianapolis to Monterrey, Mexico.
For us then, it was a matter of going to Monterrey to figure out, what is this place? Why there? Of all places in the world, why move there?
So here begins our journey to Monterrey, Mexico, to find out why those Carrier jobs are moving south of the border. What is attracting businesses to move there, to a city that is about 1,270 miles away? I'm ready to catch a flight to Monterrey.
We made the commitment to go down to Monterrey to get answers to questions.
We have heard your anger and your disappointment over Carrier's decision to move jobs here.
And we're not going away quietly.
Mexico's a disaster.
Would you work for $3 an hour?
Something's got to change in this country.
Workers take a stand outside the Carrier plant.
We've got to keep these jobs here.
I speak Spanish, I speak Spanish, and I speak Spanish, which at the end of the day, you have to be able to communicate where you're going. Spanish should come in handy as we're heading to Monterrey, but we know that Carrier is moving these jobs because they'll pay their workers much, much, much less in Monterrey than Indianapolis. First stop, once we get to the airport, we're gonna exchange some cash, try to get some pesos. For us, it was just a matter of go. Ask the questions in English and in Spanish. Gracias, gracias. So here we are, we have just arrived in Monterrey after an hour flight from Houston. People in Indianapolis were asking us, what is happening, and can you tell us why Monterrey?
I'm Rafael Sanchez in Monterrey, Mexico. I'm here getting answers to your questions as to why Carrier Corporation is moving all of those jobs on the city's west side to this Mexican city.
This city is unlike any other in the country of Mexico, and it's looking to make a name for itself around the world. Being a big industrial engine for the country of Mexico is nothing new for Monterrey. It's always been that when it comes to manufacturing and steel and glass production. It's always been there. In fact, Carrier had a connection with Monterrey dating back to the 1930s. So their connection to the city is not something that's new.
If you talk to most of the people here on city streets, folks that work in the downtown area, most people have no idea where Indianapolis is located.
The state of Nuevo León, Mexico has states like we have here in the United States, is big. 5 million people. The city of Monterrey itself, 1 million. It's a big city. As big as Indianapolis. Free trade has changed this country. It has changed this city in the past 20 years. To show people where their jobs are going, because we could sense the hostility, the anger, the frustration, the betrayal that many families were experiencing. Could they move there? Could they not move there? What was around the plant? What is Monterrey? Where is Monterrey? So many questions. So we just spent 4 days there just digging and uncovering and looking for those answers. The Carrier plant is right over my shoulder, down that valley, part of a large industrial complex. There are 4 plants, Carrier plants in Monterrey, all happen to be, ironically, on the west side of that city, just like our plant is on the west side of Indianapolis. But we were hoping to at least get a better view of the plant so that we could show people in Indianapolis what the facility looked like. And the park security would not allow us inside. So we got some pictures from the gate.
We're outside the Carrier plant here in Monterrey, Mexico, hoping to get access to their plant here in Monterrey. As you may recall, it was just back on February the 10th when the company announced to all employees that it was moving its operations to Monterrey beginning in 2017. We're sort of stuck here. The security guard at the gate will not allow the crew to go beyond At this point, we are seeing a shift change, so that much we can report to you. We are seeing a number of employees with Carrier shirts walking out.
My interaction with Carrier has been very interesting. Everything is done by email. Phone calls are not really, they don't answer phone calls. So if I were to call right now and say, hey, I have a question about A, B, or C, they prefer everything in writing, which is okay with me because then we can make it very clear as to what we need and the questions we want responded. So the only time Carrier ever called me was once while I was on the trip. It was the second day of our journey. The company called to say that that they had learned that we were there, which is I'm kind of surprised about because I'd sent them an email a week earlier, so that's fine. The company would not allow us access into any of their 4 facilities, but they did send us 3 pictures, very nondescript pictures of their buildings. Mexico now is also becoming very expensive. Who would think that $3 an hour is expensive? But other countries in the Far East, like in China, Thailand, Vietnam, can pay much less than $3 an hour. So in Mexico itself, they're worried about these jobs because they've seen where companies have moved in, they built these warehouses, and then they've left. They've left with jobs, they've left with their promises, and they also have populations of people that were counting on these jobs. Now they're also unemployed because other countries around the world can pay much less than $3 an hour. Our goal was to tell you the whole story from beginning to middle, and the end is not written yet.
What am I gonna do?
What's next for me is I really don't know.
What do I do now? You're not going to find another job making the good money we make with just a diploma.
What am I going to do next? Where are we going to go? Did this really happen?